Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to episode number 71 and it's time for the 11th round of this season. It's time for the France Grand Prix, for the French Grand Prix, I'm sorry for that, which is going to happen on the 21st of July. But first we have to change a component as we had a DNF last time around, because of course that component was off, it stopped, and it showed there was 99% in wear, so we have to change it of course, otherwise we can't race this weekend. We have one more upgrade coming for this car and then it's maxed out, so there's nothing that we can do except for putting in some activities which are going to change absolutely nothing, except if it's to help my teammate get even better and give him even more advantage compared to ourselves and the other teams to win another race. So as we are on our way to France, we have a CC department event, so let's go to that event, and it shows that we have to choose, or we give some cash and we get morale. As you can see, I did that as I don't want to lose any morale. To be honest, it doesn't matter anymore because we are not going to do any upgrades. Maybe if we have another season and there is a big reset, then we will need all the resource points that we are now getting, of course. But I am skipping practice. I've done this for a few Grand Prix now just because I don't need the resource points and there is just nothing that we can get some discounts on. So I don't see any reason why I even should do them. But now let's focus on qualifying and not on upgrading the car that is already maxed out, as this is our first lap in today's qualifying. As you can see, we are coming out of the pits and I'm currently in P10. Of course it's going to change because we are one of the last drivers to go out on track before we set off our times, of course. You can see we locked up into turn 1 already, but our tires are still cold, so don't worry too much about it. As we are now starting our first lap, it's probably not our only lap, as it's been a while since I've driven at French Grand Prix. But yeah, as you can see through the first two corners, and it's going quite well. Coming up to this middle chicane here, right in the middle of the two long straights. If that was just one straight, it would be waiting until you're at the next corner. So it's quite a good thing that they added that in there. But yeah, now ending this lap, you can see it's quite a lot of wheel spin as well as we are currently in P22, but that's going to change as we move up to P12. Is that enough? Well, I didn't think so, as we were still half a second off P10, which is Ocon at the moment, so I decided to do another lap. And as you can see, not that much at the moment, but coming to the end of the lap, we are gaining 3/10, so we should be fine with getting at least into P10. Or maybe even higher, or it could be P11 or P12. I don't know what the difference is to Liam, but yeah, as you can see, 4/10 is different, so it will probably be P11 or P12, and at the moment it's going to be P11. This should be enough, as the bag marker cars aren't that fast, and as you can see, yes, it's still P11 once we are at the end of qualifying. Carlos Sainz not on top, that's weird to see, as he is only down in P6. So yeah, now it's time for Q2. Of course, the last few races we have had a bad qualifying, which meant that we were out in Q2. But yeah, for now it's still good, and we are going to try to put in all the talent that we have, so not that much, and a lot of tries to get it right. And this first lap, I don't know if it's good enough. It wasn't the best lap that I've ever had. So as we are coming on to the main straight, it is going to show us where we are placed at the moment, and it looks like at the moment it's only P10. So that's not good enough, so let's do another lap at the end of qualifying. Of course, you can see we did another lap. I didn't show it, guys, it wasn't that much, as we just moved up into P6. It was quite a good lap, but we are going to try and set an even better lap now, because I don't think that P6 at this point is good enough for Q3. As you can see, we are not gaining that much, but we have a purple sector and we have a green sector, so hopefully we can gain a bit more time in that final qualifying, or in the final sector. And as you can see, through that long right hander we gained a bit of time, and coming out of this final corner. With a lot of wheel spin in the last 2 laps, we gained 2 more tenths, and that shows us up into P7. I think we are through. Yes, we are through to the next part of qualifying, which means that in the first time in a few races that we are starting in the top 10, and it's not because somebody else has a penalty or something. So yeah, Carlos Sainz once again on top, just like he always is, and myself in P7. So hopefully we can get a bit higher in the next part, and hopefully we can make sure that we are going to win this race. But I am only doing 1 lap, as I only have 1 fresh set of softs remaining. So we are waiting until final few seconds in this qualifying session. As you can see, with 40 seconds remaining, we are in our 1 and only lap with a great line through here. So as you can see, it actually shows us that we have a green sector. I thought it was a purple sector. Oops. But hey, don't worry about it. We are still in P10, but we are the last driver to put a time on the board, and it's good enough for... Wait, I saw that it was a good lap. Oh damn, P2. Okay, we are on the front row. In the last few races we were starting in P12, P13, and now we are ahead of our teammate in the front row. So that's quite good. Charles Leclerc is still faster by a few tenths, but I have a feeling that the Ferrari is better at a 1 lap pace than it is on a long distance. So we should be able to get the fight with Charles Leclerc and try to win.
Here we are again then at Le Castellet for another round of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. Renault took their first French Grand Prix win all the way back in the inaugural race in 1906, but it was another 73 years before they could take their second. I'm sure Alpine will be pushing hard to delight the local fans here today. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners. 6 go to the left and 9 go to the right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The 2 halves of the long Mistral straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the chicane. And watch out for drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Lightning completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen, and Ticktum, Perez, Liam Lawson, Russell, and Yuki Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, and Magnussen, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and Guan Yu Zhou, Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, Albon, and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay, so here we go. Starting tires. Almost everybody is starting on the softs except for Ocon and Daniel Ricciardo. So I think it's pretty straightforward with what we are going to do today. And as we are now starting the race, of course, mediums to hards is the strategy. And it's lights out and away we go. Of course, not a better start than Charles Leclerc. It never is. So we lose 1 position to our teammate, but it looks like we are only losing 1 position. And as we are going into turn 1, somebody is on the inside and I don't... Oh my god, they are 3 wide. We get a warning, but don't worry about it. It's still only 1 of 2 that we can get. And Perez and Verstappen, and I think it's Alonso as well, are all 3 fighting side by side, which means that they are losing so much time. You can see we lost 1 position, so it's not too bad, and to get behind is already 2 seconds. So I think we are pretty safe to say it is going to be at least a podium. If we get P1, P2 or P3, well, we have to find out in 27 laps time, as the first lap is now over. The gap ahead is still only 6 tenths, and the gap behind is 1.9 seconds. So yeah, there's a big difference in just 1 lap. Verstappen is still a very fast driver, and it would help if Verstappen and Perez would get higher up, if they would get ahead of Sainz and ahead of Leclerc, because they are the main 2 rivals. And because we are now at the halfway point, we are still able to get the championship in our hands. We are still, I think, around 100 points behind our teammate Carlos Sainz in the standings, as they are fighting for P1. You can see Carlos Sainz going around the other side, and this means that we need to get past as well. If we lose too much time behind Leclerc, Sainz is going to get away and we are not going to catch him anymore. So we are going for the overtake right here into the next right-hander, side by side with Charles Leclerc in lap 4. And yes, we are now ahead. We can see a double overtake from the 7-even 95 racing team. And that's quite good. Going a bit wide here, so that gives Charles Leclerc the option to go for the overtake. But we have the inside line for the next corner. And I think that's job done. So yeah, at the moment, it's P1 and P2 for the team. But I like to get it switched around. Because we need to gain points on our teammate, and he doesn't need to get any more points than we are. So we are putting him on a defensive line, trying to give him a weird line in through this next section. As you can see, we are getting a warning, but it's all worth it as we now have used our 2 tokens, but that's what they are for. And we are now into the lead, and it's this time not because somebody has pitted early. Well, it's because I have the pace for once. I don't say that often, but sometimes I do have a lot of pace. Just like today. Today is one of those days, but I'm not getting away from my teammate just yet. As Verstappen is once again in this pack. It's now the fight for the lead between 4 drivers. The gap to Perez is quite big with already 5 seconds. Because I think he's still fighting with Alonso and with Russell and Tsunoda who are behind. We can see Carlos Sainz had a great run to turns 1 and 2. And he's going for the inside line. I let him through just because I think that we could use some DRS to defend from Verstappen and maybe re-overtake Carlos Sainz. So yeah, here we go then onto the main straight, or the back straight it is. The long straight where we get DRS and where we try to get a few positions. At least one, because that's all we can get. And as you can see, taking a different line. And that's us into the lead once again. It's still side by side and we are trying to go ahead, but it looks like we are still side by side, and Carlos Sainz is coming out ahead, and I think that's the lead for him. Well, no, we are still side by side. We can look from Max Verstappen's onboard as we have the inside line going into the next corner, and we are back in the lead. But here comes Max Verstappen going for the second place. Can he take the lead? Oh my God. Max Verstappen is out. Well, I didn't expect that to happen. To be honest, I don't know how that happened. All I knew that was that he was out, and if I took a look in the replays, then it showed me that he actually drove into the back of me. So I'm lucky that I don't have any damage to my rear wing or to the rear diffuser. But we are going into the pits for the hards. Not a lot of drivers do this. Only myself and Perez from the front runners are actually on the strategy, so this could help us really really good, because we don't need to make another pit stop, and the guys ahead like Leclerc, Sainz, Alonso, Lawson, Russell, Ticktum, you can say all of them, still need to make another pit stop, and we are now at an advantage of around 20 seconds to them. And they are not even going onto softs, they are going onto hards as well. So it's time for the restart. As you can see, we are up to P9 because Liam Lawson had a DNF as well. But we don't worry about it too much. It's not too much to do with our story here. As we are going for the overtake on PS3, going around the outside, braking late so that we can gain this position. And into turn 2, we are already up. Never mind, he's coming back. I didn't think the AlphaTauri was that competitive, but they are trying to fight against us. And as you can see, he's doing quite well. We are going to wait onto the back straight where we can use a lot of ERS and we have the better engine. So we should be able to breeze past him and not have to worry about it too much. So yeah, here we go then on to the straight. We have no DRS, we have ERS, and we have the better engine, going for it around the outside. And as you can see, it's not too much of a battle as we still have to brake a bit later. But we are up into P8, only 7 guys ahead of us until we are in the lead. And here we go for the comeback. As you can see, it's now time for Pierre Gasly going around the outside just like we did with his teammates. But we use the switchback and it's a beautiful overtake. As you can see, in lap 11 only. So still a lot of laps to come, 16 in total. But yeah, we are catching up to everybody really quick because we are on new hards. They are on used mediums, which are 12 laps old. So we should be able to catch up to everybody really quick. And I think that we can try to fight Tsunoda into these next few corners, or we could just wait until we are on the main straight. So it looks like, yes, we are waiting. because I don't want to lose too much tires just because we are fighting that much. As you can see, once again, the same move that we've done 3 times in a row now. It has worked twice, if you count this one. Yes, we do. So yeah, it has worked twice, and 1 time it failed because PS3 had a better exit. But as you can see, now up into the top 6, and everybody ahead of me still needs to make another pit stop. So it looks like I'm going to win this race with Perez in P2. But the battle isn't over yet, as we still need to finish this race. We've had a DNF last time around because we had to retire the car with an engine problem. And yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen here today as we go around the side of that dictum, and it looks like it's just a simple overtake. So I'm not getting too hyped for that, as we still have a lot of drivers to overtake. So yeah, we are getting closer to Russell, as you can see, almost within 1 second. And as soon as we try to fight him, well, he goes into the pits. So this just shows that we are probably going to get the lead in a few laps time, because my teammate and Fernando Alonso still need to pit, but everybody else is already, yes, as you can see, everybody is already into the pits, just like Sainz, Alonso and Tsunoda now. So we take the lead. We have the fastest lap as well, and we get another fastest lap with a 31.2, and it's Perez 6 seconds, even 7 seconds behind. To be honest, I felt the whole race already that Perez just didn't match my pace. I was a bit faster than him every lap, and as you can see in lap 17, he's already 8 seconds behind, and the gap to Leclerc and Sainz is still 20 seconds. And the reason why it isn't coming down is because the tire wear on the hards is almost non-existent. It was around 2 to 3% each lap, and I only had to do 20 laps on them, so we have around 50% of tire wear at the end of the race. But you can see the gap to Perez is still growing, and Leclerc and Sainz are still battling, so we are just cruising it home. We are going for another fast lap to make sure that we are the fastest here, and we are not giving up a single point. But that's not this lap, as we have a red first sector. But hopefully in a few laps time we can take the fastest lap once more and be sure that we get a total of 26 points. As we are now in lap 25, and this is the lap that I wanted to get my fastest lap. You can see it's almost a qualifying lap in terms of the lines that I am taking, and it's already working. You can see a purple sector 1, only 2 more sectors that we need to get good, and then we have another fast lap. Maybe a 130, that would be pretty awesome, as the second sector already is green, it's not even red, so we are improving on 2 sectors, so hopefully this third sector will be even better. And as we are now on the main straight to enter the penultimate lap of this race, is a 1:30.798. That's an amazing lap, almost half a second faster than we did before, and the gap behind is getting bigger and bigger. You can see 11.5 seconds to Perez, and nothing is going to stop us anymore. Coming to the final lap, only 2 corners remaining, and it looks like we are going to win in quite a while, it feels, even though it's not been that long. To be honest, I don't even remember my last win. I think it was a few races ago. But yeah, here we go then towards the checkered flag, and we take the win in France, and we are once again a Grand Prix winner. We've had quite a lot of wins already this season, but we can add to it even more. And still, the only race that hasn't been won yet, or that hasn't won yet by a 7even95 racing driver, is the British Grand Prix with Charles Leclerc.
And with that, we wrap up yet another incredible Grand Prix weekend. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
The faces on our top 3 look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Okay, so as you can see, I'm on the top step of the podium once again, and my teammate is nowhere. He is in P4, so we are gaining, let me think, it's 26 points for me, and P4 is 12 points. So we are gaining 14 points of him, so it's not the biggest of wins that we've had on him, but it's still good enough. If we can keep this up all season, then we can still take on the fight with him at the end of this season. And as you can see, the results are here. We are winning this race, of course, by 6.7 seconds. I took it easy in the last few laps, so the gap came down quite a bit. Charles Leclerc in P3, Sainz and Alonso in P4 and P5. And other than that, it doesn't matter too much. Max Verstappen is not the only driver who didn't see the finish line today. It was Liam Lawson as well, both in the safety car periods. Of course, one started it, the other just DNF'd in it, and the gap now to our teammate is 91 points, but we are getting closer. You can see myself up in P3 once again after having a tough fight last race. The gap in the constructor standings, I don't know, I think we've already secured it, so 126 points is not going to happen, or something crazy has to happen with Ferrari getting as fast as they actually can. But they don't have the durability for that, or at least I don't think so, as we know in real life. You can see contract renewal. We have to renew our contract with our teammate. Are we going to do that, or are we signing a new driver? You will see that in the next episode. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please do. If you want to join the Discord server, you can. The link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.